far as your other question, I would have to check, but I think our overall credit card limit is 10,000 a month.
Okay. For all cards.
For all cards, yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, not every card is the same. The limit on every card is not the same. So I think that my card is probably the highest limit, but Tamara has a card. I think her limit is $2,500 a day or a month. A month.
My big old stamps.
Probably talk about it.
But I would have to check what the limits are, but we do have a daily limit and a monthly limit per quarter.
Okay, that makes sense to.
And it is that cow card, so it's very
Yeah.
specific where you can.
Okay. And so it's not budget, I think maybe that makes perfect sense to me. Any other questions?
I'm not seeing this, as far as the lighting plans, that's not in here, Kelly?
The lighting plans,
Or to talk about, because I believe we discussed 26, 27, the plans for installing or getting lights installed down Mission Street.
okay. So let me find where that is for you. So that is under lighting, under Object 326, engineering. Right now, we're only doing planning.
Okay.
Once we get through planning and we have a plan to go off for construction, then that would be brought back to the board and be a budget adjustment. We're not far enough along in the plan right now to know what that cost is going to be.
Okay.
So that would be brought back to the board as a budget adjustment and a separate approval.
So that's the engineering professionals?
Yes. So part of that project is going to be in this fiscal year, and part of it is going to be in next fiscal year.
You had something, Director?
Yeah, well, I know that we're paying over $80,000 just for the design, is that correct?
I believe that the contract for the design was
About
80 or 90,000.
Yeah, okay.
For multiple locations across the district.
Yeah, right. Okay. You never did check with PG&E?
Check with PG if they'll do that. They won't do what we're trying to do for free.
All right.
If we want to go put them on poles that already exist, then they can do that. But where we're trying to predominantly put these, there is no poles.
All right.
Okay, anyone else have any other questions?
And as far as the legal, Kelly, 0.6% makes up 0.6% of the budget. That 143,800.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I can't. So that 143,800, that $143,800, that's all of legal for this year? And that is, I mean, is it broke down into, for example, the Steinbeck stuff, the, board, just general operations? I mean,
So each department has multiple accounts for legal. That 143,800 is across all departments for all legal services. Just because I happen to be on this page for wastewater, actually, sorry, for fire, they have legal for HR, they have legal for general. So their legal costs are divided into those two categories. We do have more categories, but that's generally what they're budgeted for. For street lighting and solid waste, or street lighting, wastewater, water, and solid waste are pretty much all the same. guess how as far as how they're broken down. This is wastewater. There's legal for public records requests, legal for general, legal for dealing with SEIU, which is our represented employees, legal for HR, and then water obviously has legal for Steinbeck. So depending on what legal is doing for us, it's broken down into those different categories, which helps us identify where that money is actually going and what we need to work on.
In the recent budget cycles, have we not exceeded or never exceeded the budgeted amount for legal?
I didn't look into that before this meeting, but let me take a look real quick. Basically, the report that is in here shows what we spent. The only one that shows the current budget versus actual is the one that's for this current fiscal year. Under wastewater, that's not working. So for wastewater general legal, we budgeted $20,000 and we're at $24,000. Go down to water, see what water's doing. Water legal general was budgeted for $25,000 and we're $11,000. So we're generally pretty close. It's really hard to tell. Like this year, we've had a lot of issues that have come up with water and wastewater specifically that have required more legal. I would imagine that if you go back and look at our bills for wastewater specifically, a lot of this extra time has to do with the treatment plant and the contracts for that treatment plant.
Right.
We're usually pretty close, I would say, but we do go over obviously. Looking at the other legal items, like legal for SEIU, we budgeted $5,000, we spent $600 out of water. And for legal HR, we budgeted $8,000 and we spent $2,700. So I think if you took it as a whole, we were probably under our total budget.
Okay.
But if you look at each individual thing, some of them are going to be over.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions from anybody here? Do you have any public comment on this item?
We do have written public comment.
Okay.
There's no in-person comment.
There's no in-person public comment. We'll go to the red public comment. Written.
So we have one public comment. Unfortunately, our timer person is not here, but I think I can get through this in 3 minutes.
Got it.
Dear board, I hope this doesn't take too much of your time. I have questions about a few line items in the budget. I hope you can clarify. The expenditure budget report, fire department, number 105, fire salaries and wages, 25-26, $132,331, now 26-27, $201,742. That's almost a $70,000 increase in 1 year. What positions are included in that and what accounts for these increases? The fire department is currently allotted 20 paid call firefighter positions. Well, are they part of the $201,742 budget or separate? Number 370, dispatch 2627 is $22,000. Do we have a dispatcher? Number 367, webpage 1500. I can only find the C.S.D. Fire Department page, the San Miguel Firefighters Association website, and a San Miguel Fire page for Spring Valley, California. Please clarify. Number 393, advertising public notices. 2223, 338, now 4,000. 2627. Can we get an ESA to encourage the public not to use illegal fireworks for firefighter safety? Number 495, uniforms, 4,000. Uniforms are donated by the San Miguel Fire Association for the fire department. That is great. And the fire department buys uniforms as well. What are the costs per uniform and how often do they need to be purchased or repurchased? Number 510, fire department renovation, 2627 is 4,000. Number 327 and 333, legal fees for the fire department, 16,000. Wastewater legal fees, number 319, 327, 331, 333, over 32,000. Number 375, internet expenses, 12,000. 2425 was 4,422. 585 sludge removal, 2425 was 4,217. 2627 is 279,720. Number 705 wastewater discharge fees, 2223 was 28,140. 2627 budget is 70,000, and 2526 was 114,300. What is this? Number 321, page 5, IT services for wastewater is 26,020. For wastewater, 2627 was 15,550. Wastewater water department line 321 IT services 2627 is 16,000. Please explain, are these combined or separate fees? Water department 319, 327, 331, 333. For 2627, 85,000 legal fees, and of that 50,000 for the Steinbeck case.
That's 30 minutes.
Almost 30.
So close.
This way. Well, this, yeah.
No, I just don't want you to keep going. Okay.
Gotta make it.
So once you mess it up.
So if you want, I can respond to some of these, or if not, then that's fine.
Submitted by email.
This is submitted by email.
You submitted an email response.
I can submit an email response.
Why don't you do that? Everybody else agrees, gets it that reasonable?
Yeah. Okay. I can respond to her by email. Oh, sorry. This was Shauna Sandors.
Okay.
So we can respond to that by email.
Okay. Thank you. Any other public comment?
That was the only written public comment for this.
Okay.
So if there's no other board comment, that was what we had for tonight. Obviously, if you have any other questions or anything comes up in between this meeting and the next meeting, feel free to call me, email me, whatever, and we'll get your questions answered. I don't see any major changes to the budget between now and the next meeting. So what's in this budget, or what's in this board packet, will just be forwarded to the next meeting for approval.
Okay. Move on.
We're going to email response to this. Okay, all those questions?
I could speak to some of them if you'd like.
They'd like it to email. They'd like to have an email response for the time management.
Okay.
Doesn't, of the public? Sure. Get that phone on.
Move on to item 2, discuss and adopt emergency ordinance XX 2026 prohibiting fireworks within the district.
Thank you. I'll present this item. At the request of Director Davis, and I believe seconded by Director Sangster, there's an emergency ordinance to prohibit fireworks temporarily for the 4th of July holiday. Director Davis desires for temporary ban for the public health and safety. His concern is for the veterans in the area and domestic and dangerous to domestic animals, as well as the fire risk that the fireworks pose. The district has the authority to prohibit fireworks. As discussed previously, the district does not have the authority to administer administrative fines or penalties. However, I believe you all received a copy of a letter that the district received from the district attorney's office, and a conversation was had with the sheriff's department that the ordinance will be respected insofar as if officers cite people for setting off fireworks within the district, they will send it to the DA's office, and the DA said that they will review them on a case-by-case basis for misdemeanor charges. Again, this would be a temporary ordinance. The board is required, in order to pass pass this ordinance, to pass it by all four of you. It's a 4/5 vote because it's an urgency ordinance. And we must find that the urgency exists to protect the public health and safety, and that there was no time to consider this and pass this earlier. Hence the urgency. If you do adopt this, it will go into effect immediately, though it is restricted to the 4th of July holiday, as lighting off fireworks and the other times against the law under state law anyway.
So it would only apply to July 4th, 2026, and from then it would go back to as written.
That is correct.
Thank you. Board comments?
Original letter that I received was from Mr. Davies, not an Owen Davis, but an Owen Davies. It's his letter, and signed by, well, on the signature page it says Davies. So is that the same?
The letter attached to the agenda was received from Director Davis.
Okay. So the one I have says Davies, it's not that letter then.
Yeah, I have Davies too.
So the letter that has the misspelling is from Director Davis. That was what we received.
That's all I wanted to know.
What's the cost as far on the legal aspect of this, Christina? The cost that we have to have you, because you have to do it, correct? No.
No, I would not be prosecuting anything. It would be the DA's office.
No, I'm
that would
talking
be
about
prosecuting.
okay.
So effectively no cost to the district or minimal cost, Christina?
The cost to the district is drafting the ordinance and this proceeding here. From here forward, it is up to the sheriff. If the urgency ordinance is passed, it would be up to the sheriff's department to cite those in violation of the ordinance on 4th of July, and then those citations would be forwarded to the DA's office for review for misdemeanor prosecution.
Thank you. Director Davis?
No, like I said, I just want the public to understand that this is a one-time ordinance. And I think it's very needed, especially with the climate this year and everything that's happened in the past and so on. I think it'd be very, very beneficial to the district. And I'll kind of remind everybody, the thing that was similar, I'm sure everybody remembers all the, when they used to have the car shows up there, all the burnouts on the Mission Street and everything, and it became a mess. Well, that was turned over to, the way I understand, to the Sheriff's Department. And then they started policing it a little bit, and if you notice, in the last 2 or 3 years, we have the car shows, but it isn't out of hand. So this, I think this not like they used to be. I've been here a long time. But if we could at least try this, and let's see what happens, because I mean, as far as I'm concerned, on the 4th of July, this city's out of control. It's like a war zone, you know, and it shouldn't be that way. And then in the district's letter, it also says that it won't just be the Sheriff's Department ain't gonna be down here putting handcuffs on or anything. They will be taking names, and just like you said in that, it'll go back. But it also gives the fire chief authority to turn somebody in. So I just think it's the right thing to do, and I'm sure the majority of the people in San Miguel agree with me, from the ones that I spoke to. So,
I don't think we can overstress the safety of the community. From a fire perspective, from people's pets, livestock, veterans, all of it, this is, in most cases, traumatic to the above mentioned. Fire danger in and of itself warrants certainly some consideration of whether we allow fireworks in this community. Furthermore, if our firefighters association is not benefiting financially, what's our motivation here? I just think that there are a lot more considerations than having things that go flash and bang on the 4th of July. If we're not considering those people, the veterans and the animals who have no other mechanism other than to be petrified, I think we're doing everyone in this community, including the animals, a tremendous disservice. That's all I got.
Hearing both directors speak, the one thing that comes into my head is by having the sheriffs go around citing people lighting fireworks, having the fire chief go around, you're taking the sheriff, you're taking the fire personnel out of, to go drive around looking for people lighting fireworks, because regardless on if this passes or not, it's gonna happen. And there is no way that this is gonna stop. This is gonna do anything. Templeton had one bad egg. They burned a building down, but yet they're not gonna get rid of a tradition that's been going on for quite a while because of one bad egg, and it wasn't even due to the fact of it was negligence. So that's where I stand on this.
the way I'm sorry, go ahead.
My opinion is that regardless of whether you pass this or not, fireworks are going to be here. The illegal ones are still going to be here. They're the ones that are causing the most trouble. As far as the ones for sale that we used to have for sale here, they're going to come down from other towns and other areas to this town. People are going to travel to get them and bring them here. So I'm not going to stop anything. And by the way, there was a newspaper article in the Tribune, I think 3 weeks ago, that 2 people were arrested for that fire for the granary in Templeton. One was an adult, one was a minor, and it was not. They were illegal fireworks, the ones that are rockets that are being shot off, not the safe and sane ones.
Well, again, we talk about one bad egg, but one bad egg destroyed a building that was historic in the community, destroyed people's livelihoods, potentially could destroy people's lives. And if your home burns down everything you have in your entire life. So I'm saying that to me, it's not worth the risk for someone to have flash and bang things to risk people's livelihoods, people's lives, people's homes, people's pets, veterans, and so on. And we can sit here and argue whether or not it would be effective. The point is that we can enforce this or act, we as a board take action to actually do something on 4th of July, unlike every other year that I've lived here, then we have something at least is written so that when reports are taken, they can go to the district attorney. No one's going to get arrested. No one's writing citations. The information is taken, it goes to Dan Dell's office. He decides whether or not charges can be filed, whether or not there's a fine involved. It's entirely outside of our purview. However, at least we will have done something. So when something does happen, we can say to the community, we tried, we did something. We didn't just sit on our hands and say, forget it, we'll let whatever happens happen, because it's a tradition. That makes no sense.
If I may, you mentioned the fire department more than once, and I have some insight to this, a lot of insight to this. I have been the boots on the ground individual for years, mitigating illegal fireworks, with the exception of last year because of things that occurred last year. So our activities were minimal. The board already took action on this, and the board has already made a decision on this. And this decision was made at the last meeting when the board elected not to allow safe and sane fireworks sales in San Miguel. So under our existing ordinance, 01-2023, and if our new ordinance ever gets signed and completed, 01-2026, section 18, 10, parent 2, clearly says that nobody can possess or use safe and sane fireworks within the district because there is no designated period for possession or use. So all this effort could have been avoided if somebody called and asked me. It's already in there. You already made the decision. You did something. So that's been done. It leads back to the conversations of, are we going to make them extra illegal? You can't make them extra illegal. The relationship that I have with the Sheriff's Department, I'm proud of, and we work very hard together. And there's plans to have additional officers in the area. Whether or not they stay the entire time, who's to say? You know, the impact to the community is a funding mechanism for the staffing of the fire department for the 4 days leading up to the 4th of July, which is inherently busy time period. However, community members have rallied together, business owners have rallied together, and they are willing to put forward funding to help protect the community on the 4th of July, so we have that staffing ability. But to backtrack, the board has already taken action, and the action is 01-2023, 18-10, parent 2. And with the decision last month to not have safe and sane fireworks, it's over. There is no use. I know that at the end of the meeting, people were talking, well, people are going to buy them, tell them to bring them to San Miguel. You can't do that. You can't transport fireworks from one locality to another without a permit. And the fireworks were sold in San Miguel. Every individual who purchased fireworks received a map for location of use and a warning saying you are not to take this outside the district. So the safe and sane fireworks are going to be a priority, but unfortunately they're going to be a lower priority than the illegal fireworks because there's no place for aerial fireworks in San Miguel. They're 100% dangerous, not safe, and illegal. And we will do everything we can to patrol, confiscate, and work with the sheriffs to the best of our ability, avoid confrontation. I do know that a couple citations were issued last year by the Sheriff's Department. This year, we're working with the Sheriff's Department. Hopefully, we'll have a stronger enforcement capability. Unfortunately, they are happening now. I picked up one 2 nights ago off the street over at 16th and L Street. And while I was on Coquito, when I called, mortars were going off. So people are traveling around in vehicles and igniting and leaving. And what's really dangerous is it appears that they're taking the mortars, they're putting them on the roof of their car, lighting them, holding them, discharging them, and then driving to a new location. So the board has already taken action now. So what you do tonight is up to you, but you have done something. Thank you.
Any other board comment?
So essentially, Chief Young just said this is a waste of time, basically. So,
Yeah, it doesn't mitigate anything.
So just to be clear, this urgency ordinance, sorry, I'm looking for the spot. One moment. I'm sorry, Scott, can you repeat that code section because I'm not seeing what you're saying in the code that was passed?
I'm unfortunately unable to hear you.
She wants to know the section of 01-2026 that was passed.
It's 01-2023, which is in place currently. So 01-2026.
That one passed though, so it is.
01-2023 are mirrors of each other when it comes to fireworks. So it's section 18, 10, Roman numeral 10, parent 2.
Do you know what page of the ordinance that's on? Do you know what page of the ordinance that's on? So she can look at it.
That's where it's at. It's 10, 18.
So section 10, 18.
No, it's section 18.
Oh, section 18.
And it's Roman numeral 10 of 18.
Number 10,
This,
So yes, thank you. So section 2 does not clearly state that safe and sane fireworks cannot be discharged within the time period set by the board. It only refers to fireworks, and it is under the section relating to safe and sane sales and safe and sane use, and use of illegal fireworks as well. And the urgency ordinance also removes what is not a proper administrative citation provision that was in 2023-01 and only applies the misdemeanor penalties. And it is specific to safe and sane fireworks because any other fireworks are already illegal to be discharged at any time in the state. And so it does provide that clarification, which is required by the Sheriff's Department and the DA's office to do anything in relation to a prohibition ordinance. We laugh the other ordinance is not clear enough.
you don't have that up on the screen, but it says in that section, it is unlawful for any person to discharge fireworks at any time outside the period established by the district of board of directors. There is no time period established for use of any firework. Therefore, the use of all fireworks are prohibited in San Miguel in 2026.
And that is how you read and interpret that, but I'm telling you that it
Yes.
is legally vulnerable and indefensible because of the ambiguity of that statement. The ordinance does not specifically state that the board sets a time period for discharge of safe and sane fireworks. It only states that it provides for a protocol for the board to approve the period for the sale of safe and sane fireworks. So
Once again,
legally speaking,
it is unlawful
it
for any
is
person
indefensible.
to discharge fireworks at any time outside the period
It's not.
established by the board of directors. The board of directors did not establish a period for use. Therefore, it is illegal.
Scott, you can argue with me on your interpretation all night, but I'm telling you that it is legally indefensible and ambiguous. And as priorly written, it was not going to be enforced by the Sheriff's Department or the DA's office.
So I would support this simply on the basis that it would enable the Sheriff's Department and DA's office to take action.
Against safe and sane, not mortars, that's,
All of it,
well,
everything.
mortars are already illegal, but safe and sane, anything.
Anything. Yeah.
It would be anything.
We're arguing
I
the
appreciate
fact
it.
that everything is
I appreciate the clarification. From my 2 cents, I mean, having the ability for the sheriff or DA to actually take any action on any fireworks, it makes it worthwhile. Do you have any other board comment or questions?
Yeah, well, like Scott was saying, and he's probably right.